What's up, guys? So a doctor's working on a patient and they've got a checklist of all the tools that they used to do the surgery. And the doctor gets done, snips a couple things, gets done, and he tells the nurse, he says, "Okay, we're done, sew her up." The nurse says, "Doctor, we're supposed to have 12 sponges here. I'm only counting 11. Doctor says, "No, I got them all. Sew her up." The nurse says, "But doctor, I've got right here on my list, we had 12 when we started. We only have 11. We are missing a sponge." Doctor says, "I told you we're finished, nurse. Sew the patient up, now." The nurse pleads, "Doctor, I will not. There are 12 sponges. I'm only counting 11. I am not going to allow you to leave a sponge in this patient. We are missing a sponge. Think about the patient's future. Think about the repercussions this could have. Think about the future problems that this patient could have if we leave a sponge inside of there." The doctor looks down, lifts up his shoe, and there's the 12th sponge underneath his shoe. Looks at the nurse. The doctor looks at the nurse and says, "You'll do just fine." I heard that story recently and I just loved it. It is the definition of integrity. The definition of integrity. That nurse, there are people in our lives. There are coworkers, there's friends and family. They're going to try to get us to take shortcuts or do something that's not to the standards that you've set for yourself. And when that happens, you've got to have the integrity, the discipline, the courage to stand up for yourself and say, "No, I'm not going to do that. I told you. I'm changed. I am changed. I'm not going back to that. Or we're going to do this right on this job. We're not going to half-ass it." This stuff's going to happen, guys. It's also going to happen in your personal life. Anytime you decide to make your goals non-negotiable with yourself. So if you don't have some non-negotiable goals set for yourself, I recommend you do that. Just write them down. Like, no matter what, you're going to hit this goal. No matter what gets in your way, no matter what tries to stop you, no matter what people say. Because people along the way are going to throw guilt at you. They may even try to manipulate you to knock you off your track. And they're sure as heck going to throw some criticism your way. Or talk behind your back and criticize the path that you're on. So when that happens, if it happens, and people are like crabs in the bucket, they're trying to pull you back down when you're trying to change some things in your life, change some things in your business, change some things in your health, change some things in your relationship, the first thing I want you to do is communicate with them. Just flat tell them what you want. You know, sometimes this is really underestimated. One time I cleaned the basement in our house. We used to live in a house with a basement. Our current house does not have a basement, but the house that we used to live in had a basement, and that was kind of my area. I had my workout equipment down there, my ping pong table, and had a little wood shop area down there. And every so often, I'd take a whole Saturday, like all day long, and I'd just clean. And when I'd go to get my wife, I'd say, "Hey, you want to come down and look at the basement? I cleaned it." And she'd come down and say, Yep, looks good." And I would say, "Okay, thanks, but it's not what I wanted, it's not what I needed." So I had to start communicating her exactly what I wanted. So I would say, "Hey, why don't you come down to the basement and tell me how great the basement looks, because I spent all day cleaning it. And she would giggle a little bit, and she would come downstairs and say, man, this looks great. Good job, babe. I'm like, I got what I wanted. So sometimes you just got to communicate what you want with people. So when it comes to crabs in a bucket and them trying to pull you back down and trying to knock you off track so you can't hit your goals, because they just want you to stay down at this level where they are, because you are making them uncomfortable with your new standards. They don't like being uncomfortable. They're going to try to pull you back down so they can get comfortable again. But you can't let that happen. So the first thing I want you to do is communicate with them. Number one, right there. I know it's kind of far away, but you got to communicate. You got to just flat out come out and say, hey, I don't appreciate when you say that stuff, man. I'm really trying to change my life here. I'm trying to do some things different. I'm setting some new standards for myself. So I just really appreciate it if you'd stop doing that, or stop saying that, or start looking at me that way. And they can take that. It's not your job with anybody to be liked, loved. It's just not your job. So don't worry about their reaction to that. You just can't. Now, if they get all bent out of shape, well, that's on them. That's their decision. But most people won't. Most people will reason with you and say, oh, okay, man, I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that. I really do. I love you, man. I want to see you succeed. But as you continue to grow and you continue to get little micro wins and you start changing your life from these new standards that you set, you might wind up having to set some boundaries with those people, because you're making them squeamish at this point. The more you walk the ladder, the more squeamish they get, because they're like, he really is doing this. She really is doing this. She's going to make it. She's going to actually change her life for the better. They don't like that. So you may have to set boundaries. So just say, look, I'm doing this, and I just don't feel like I'm getting any support from you. So, I don't want you to say anything around me anymore about this, and I'll make you a deal. I'm not going to say anything anymore about where I'm going or what I'm doing around you too. Fair enough? See what they say. Now, if not, or if it progresses and get worse, then you may have to show them the door, or give them the boot. Don't. What is that saying? Don't let the good Lord hit, or don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you. But what I'm saying is, as you hold yourself accountable, as you get more and more successful in your life, you're going to have different problems, and your problems start looking differently than the problems that you used to deal with. And most people are just stuck dealing with the same problems their entire life. I don't want old problems. I want new problems. So when I have new problems, I know I'm expanding. I know I'm changing. I know I'm growing. And I want the people around me to have new problems too. But some of them, they don't want to get on the ladder. They don't want to ride the bus. They don't want to participate in the journey. And that's okay. But just know that you may have to kick them off the bus. You may have to kick them out the door. You may have to cut contact with them. But trust yourself through that process. Just know that you're making the right decision. And it's on them. It's not on you. It's on them that they're not willing to come with you, or they're not willing to support you. So, guys, I'm here to support you. Love you guys. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everything. Be sure to check out markittoday.com. That's MARKIT today.com. Go get yourself a fresh new website for the public to see. Stop paying for that, generic cookie cutter website. It's not that expensive. They'll work with you on payments. It's totally going to be worth your investment. And it is an investment. It's an asset that you're going to buy for your company that will stay with your company forever. So get you a fresh website, markittoday.com. It's www.markittoday.com. Till next time, guys. Don't let the good Lord, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Be sure to kick those people out of your life. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. You're better than that. You deserve more. And I'm glad you're in glad you're in here. I'm glad you're watching this. I really appreciate you guys. Go make money. Peace.